how's the audio? Should I use earphones or is that okay?
No, that's perfect.
Okay. I would normally be at my desk. Yeah, literally like 2 days before they said, "Hey, Marion County is going to be in phase 1, and you can get your hair cut."
Yeah.
So I was going to buzz it, and then she was like, "No, I can't let you do that. It's probably going to turn out horrible. So I'll do it." So she finally caved and did it.
Nice.
I had such luscious locks. They're gone.
Yeah. Oh, same. No, that looks good though. I like that style. On what just happened?
I'll button this up. Don't be too casual. What happened?
What? Oh, word.
Ooh.
I just installed something that I think was not good for my computer.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's popping up a browser that wants an update on something, and it's not letting me, anytime I try to click out of it, it grabs my mouse and takes it somewhere to the same spot every time, so I can't even control my mouse.
Like aim assist.
Yeah.
Bad.
It's weird.
Huh.
Dude, some of that stuff sketches me out. I have had some unfortunate trouble, and so have my friends, a little bit worse than me, but I've had some trouble with just going in corners of the internet and paying for it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even like for me, when I was laid off for those 2 weeks and I was applying for places, like the websites I was using were not sketchy at all, but I would have then things reach out to me and seem legit, and it would go until the very end and be like, "Hey, we want to give you a bonus or a startup bonus. Can you send us your bank account information to get things going?" I was like,
Yeah.
bummer.
I just had that happen with a job. I thought that this was we were back and forth through email. His name is Matt Schwartz with
right.
Yeah, with Castanet Services, supposed to be videography, and so I was going back and forth with him, and he's like, "So now you're in the trial period. I'm going to pay you this much, $780 for this 2-week trial period or something like that, 10-day, whatever."
Yeah.
And do all these tasks, and one of them was to take a check and deposit it into my bank account, take out some for me, and deposit the rest to a charity. Sounds harmless because I'm like, he would have nothing to do with that transaction, but he probably would.
Yeah, get your information.
I just blocked.
Yeah, that's so because similar stuff happened to me. That's the one where I messaged you and Nathan, and I was like, yeah. So I told them that, hey, I need to talk to my wife and kids first, and I said, sorry, my kid drew this black owl man, and I can't. This is a bad omen. I can't move forward.
Did you really do that?
Yeah. And then he was like, are you serious? Or he or she, I don't know, that's for sure. It's like, are you serious? Like, aren't you the man of the house? I was like, wow, I am offended. Like, my wife and I are a team, and we listen to our kids, and when they divine something, we go with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, and so then I had another number that was also talking from that same one. It's probably the same person, who knows. But I told him, I was like, I need to talk to HR because this person is demeaning me and how my family is structured, and I want this guy fired before I ever consider being hired by you guys. And so it was fun.
Wow.
Hopefully it wasn't actually real.
Dude,
strange turn of events.
I could not do that with somebody and take it.
It's because it wasn't phone calls or in person. If it was in person or phone calls, I could not have done that. I would have been way too chicken.
That makes sense.
It depends on the phone call, but it was through text and stuff like that. So I was just like, once I found out that it was sketch, because the whole time I was treating it very seriously. So I was actually kind of upset. I was like, really?
Oh, right. Yeah. I thought this was a legitimate thing in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact circumstances, but one time in Michigan, and this is like the worst time that this has happened to me. I was using my MacBook computer, and this, I don't even think this was the end of the life of that computer, but I could be wrong. It might have been like, I mean, I was up to no good on the internet, so I deserve to have this happen to me. And
Usually gets you in trouble, yeah.
I had to, for some reason, call some sort of virus. I wanted to like clean my Mac or something like that, and I call, and it's this Indian guy. I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to talk with him, and it's already difficult. We're already like struggling because there's a language barrier there.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna like do his accent or anything, but it ends up that in the middle of the frustration right here, like, well, I don't want to, that type of tone. My friend calls me, and so I now am frustrated and like, what is going on? Why is my phone ringing? I'm in a conversation. I don't even think I knew iPhones could do this, where it's like hold and accept or like decline and or whatever. So I accidentally hung up on the guy, and now I'm on the phone with my friend, and I'm like, oh, dude, no. So I like hang up on my friend really quick, and my friend is at my house. He's like in here, like right at the front door, and I'm this guy, I had given him control of my computer to help me. He was supposed to be like an IT guy, so he's like working.
Right.
So when I hang up by accident, he takes my mouse and he circles my desktop. He goes like this. He goes, you see this? Clicks in the corner, drags across, grabs everything, throws it in the trash. I'm watching this happen. He just grabbed everything that I own and threw it in the trash, hit the trash, hit empty, and emptied it all right in front of me. And I couldn't stop it. And I go, what? And I don't know what to do. I call them back, and now it's a supervisor who's answered, and I'm fuming. I'm shouting, and by this time my roommate has let my friend in, he's just walked into my room, and I'm shouting at this person on the phone. And this supervisor he's saying, this man who you were just interacting with has just left work. So he must have done what he did and skipped. If that was like accurate or really, legit, I was so I went further with them, and I paid them like $150 to recover all of my stuff. And so they had control of my computer for like 48 hours they were legitimately trying to get my stuff back. And nothing was recovered. All my scripts, my videos, I lost so much.
Wait, so they charged you to recover something that their employee did maliciously?
Yeah. And I don't know why I didn't know what to do. So I
would have panicked.
I was like, okay, maybe they know how to get it back. And I don't know why I ever paid them anything.
That's crazy. That's like a nightmare, watching someone else take control and just erase everything.
I will never forget the feeling
that
I was in of being so maliciously wronged. I felt. And it's happened a couple more times where
you'd be completely helpless.
Yes. Oh, totally. Yep. How am I going to explain this to anybody over the phone? Any bank? How do I explain this? Before I came back to Michigan, like the week and a half leading up to it, it was right around my birthday. I get a message on my phone that says PayPal has just approved $1,000, your $1,000 payment. And I went, excuse me? So I look into it, and yeah, there's $1,000 pending on my PayPal that is going somewhere. I don't know where. So I'm calling I'm calling Chase Bank, PayPal, all trying to like get this, and Chase Bank
Stop it.
like paid me. It was crazy. They just like paid me $100, $1,000, sorry, $1,000, and just canceled my card, sent me a new one.
Wow.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Shayla and I had when we lived in Independence, there was a pizza joint just down the street from us, and so when we first moved there, that was our go-to spot. But then we both used our credit cards for different things, but we used, I think, Shayla's credit card there, and then like 2 or 3 days later, it was hacked. And so we're like, okay, so the USAA, refunded us, sent us a new one. And then, so we're like, okay, we haven't gotten hers yet, and we're going to get pizza again later on. And so we used my card. Literally 2 days later, mine got hacked. And so we're like, it must be that place. But it was awesome because USA immediately knew something was up with my card. Because like it was even in our area. I think it was in Portland or something. But it was an Abercrombie and Fitch. So they were like, Joey, this doesn't sound like you. You can't afford this.
Sure.
So it's like, you're right. Yeah. I can't.
Yeah.
I never go there. If it's Target, it's sketchy. Is this really Joey?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were on it like right away, and they alerted us, and so then we were able to look at our account and be like, okay, the last 3 transactions were not ours, and they're like, okay, we'll cancel it.
Okay.
But
good.
Both times, and we've never been hacked since, and we've never been back to that pizza place.
Oh, sure.
So, but we're like, just the coincidence of. Yeah.
That's weird. I've never even
heard.
It's
crazy. Yeah, but it's crazy. I mean, they completely get away with it because we talk to our police in Independence, and so they file it and they log it and they reach out to the police up in the area or the areas of where it was at, but the people never get caught. So like our bank takes care of us, but those people don't actually suffer any consequences.
Right. How would you even do that? Like through that machine, through whatever system.
Yeah.
It goes straight. I don't know.
Yeah, or if someone on site at the pizza place or something writes it down or something and gives it to someone else. I don't know.
Sure. You never know what cameras they're trying to use in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. It's fun times.
Yeah. Pretty scary stuff. I'm trying to set up like two-step authentication through like YouTube and Gmail and all that, so I get texts every time there's a login from a new computer or anything. So yeah,
pretty much everything has the 2-step now. Something crazy that I heard, and I'm guessing it's true, I don't know, I read it online, but if you do anything online, or basically if you have a credit card, your information is already online. It's just no one has bid for your information yet, but it's already out there somewhere on the dark web.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting to bid for a packet of 20 people's IDs, and yours may be a part of it or it may not.
And there's just no way to stop that.
It's just luck of the draw or bad luck of the draw.
Right.
If yours gets chosen or not. So I don't know how accurate that is, but it sounds scary.
Yeah. I have a manager at Boone's who's going to school for computing and like IT, and he's really intellectual when it comes to like the processing of computers and even the dark web. Like they're studying how hackers do what they do, and I couldn't even like regurgitate everything that he said.
Yeah.
But through that, bidding on your IP address, on your credit card information, social security card, all on the dark web, which I've never accessed. I've never been able to. I've heard you can through Tor. Tor is like some browser for people.
Okay, I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
You have to like if you don't know what you're doing on tour, Brian said, do not try to access. And I was like, yeah, totally. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, totally. Click, click, click.
Right.
And then the IT guy deleted everything.
Yeah.
What?
Well, he said it's literally like, if you don't know what you're doing, you are a beacon to attention. And
Because it's like everyone then hones it like, oh, there's a naive little fish right here.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yep. Yeah. And then they can find out just through Google Maps where you live, what it looks like, your peers, your social media, your job, obviously, and they can just they can find out stuff about family members and even hack in,
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's the world we live in these days.
Yeah. I was just having a conversation with Kobe and my dad yesterday, about you Spetens when it comes to sports. And are there any sports that you would jump back into, like in the reopening of things? Or were you involved in any of Faith's, like soccer nights or basketball nights or anything like that? Because I'm waiting for, like, I would love to play basketball again. I would love to play softball. Softball seems like the least amount of effort or something, but
the sport that requires the least effort on my part, that sounds fun.
So are you waiting for some sort of sport to open back up?
I'm not really, like, I haven't been waiting on the edge of my seat for any sports. I mean, like, I like sports. They're fun.
Yeah.
But I've never been super passionate.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's a compliment. I enjoyed softball, soccer, when I can. It's more just like weighing my time. Like if I only have a certain amount of time that I can put Shayla through horrible kids in the evening before they go to bed and I'm away and not helping, is that what I'm going to spend my time on?
Yeah.
So, but I really like soccer. Softball was fun. Basketball, I've kind of always enjoyed somewhat, but ever since that car accident that I was in college, if I do anything that's a lot above my shoulder, shoulder, then it's a lot of pain. It's not ever too much pain in the moment. Like if I'm not able to do something, it'll kind of stop itself. It's afterwards, like the night of or the following day, where it burns and it's bad. That's something. That's why I try and stay away from stuff that does stuff above my head.
So even like throwing, is that?
Yeah, I gotta watch how I throw in softball, and if anything, like I try and throw more over the head because that's better. But a lot of times I'll end up throwing sideways, like almost like an outside frisbee throw.
Sure.
Because it's easier on me.
Which works. I don't know if you've seen Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld, he went out and threw, what was it? I mean, he's from New York, so it was whatever,
like a Yankees game?
Something like that. And he has a total sidearm. It's just like...
Or New York Giants. Huh. Crazy.
Yeah.
But he made it.
Totally. It was a great, and it was total sidearm.
Huh. Okay.
So that worked.
See?
Well, that's something that I want to get into with you is your car accident, dude. I remember I was in Brazil at the time, and you and I would FaceTime every now and again.
Yeah, we were. That was one of the times, like, because we've kind of gone back and forth to how much we were communicating and how much kind of we were just living our own worlds and then intersect again. Well, at the time we were talking every once in a while, leading up to that, and I think afterwards a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so paint that picture for me. You are in
I was in Redding, California.
Oh,
yeah, I was in Redding, California. I was in the back right of the car.
Back right, okay.
So it was just a small car, so I was the only one in the back seat, two guys up front.
At any point when you're riding, are you going, we're going to hit, like we're going to crash?
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, well, so that's one thing that, because I've always been pretty cowardly when I feel like I don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's purely selfish, where I don't want people to not like me and things like that.
Yeah.
So we were driving a little bit crazy and a little bit reckless. It was out on country roads. It was starting to rain, had rained for a while. And so the driver was taking corners a little too sharp and things like that, being fun, being reckless. He wasn't drunk at all, but he was just having a little too much fun. And so but I didn't speak up because I didn't want to be made fun of for being too concerned. And look what happened. I should have been concerned. But yeah, I think I was texting someone because we were on our way back to the campus, because us three were heading back. I was heading back because I had homework due later that week, and I was actually trying to be responsible and leave the birthday party early. So lesson learned, don't be responsible with homework.
Yeah.
But I was actually on my phone when I felt a shift off of the road.
Oh.
It's like I felt like the car catching the gravel and start going sideways. And I was like, that's different. And then it was really weird because I went into like third person to where what I did is, as I was texting, I felt a shift. I look up and we're heading straight towards a tree, and it's big. And all I do is just close my phone and set it down next to me. And that's it. like, that's all I did. And I wasn't like thinking like, oh, this is what I do. It's just more like, that's it. So I thought we were dead because
you're doing this all like
yeah, that's what I did, but with the phone. And I wasn't thinking like, oh, let's be funny, or like, oh, this.
No.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I was very calm, and it's just like, that's it.
Oh, dude, that is the funniest visual.
Every time I go back, because like I've now had 5 years, and every time I replay, I'm like, what in the world was I thinking? Like,
yeah.
Why was that my reaction?
Yeah.
So actually we hit the tree, and that stopped us from going over into a ditch, which could have been a lot worse.
Okay.
Both the guys in the front had airbags, so I think the worst injury between the two of them was a sprained thumb. But I didn't have airbags in the back, so the seatbelt saved my life, but it broke my right clavicle and then bruised my rib cage pretty bad. So that was tough.
Seatbelts are horrid sometimes with what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have the seatbelt, I would have been hugging a tree. So it definitely was the better option. But it was like, and it was just bad enough to where like they were able to offer me like, do I want to try and have it heal naturally or go into surgery? And so we're like, well, surgery is less invasive. Let's go with that. But now how it's healed, it ends up, if you're looking at it from the top, it's like this. So this side is slightly on top of the neck side, and it's at a slight angle. So it's pretty weird when you feel it. Like you can feel the drop off and then the change of angle. It's fun.
Man. And didn't you get out of the car and like lay right on the ground?
Yeah. I don't know how much you want me to get into this story, but it was, I ended up getting out of the car. I was able to get out, and I don't know how, because I was trying to unbuckle and I couldn't unbuckle. So I was like, okay, well, at least try to open the door and call to the other two guys because they've gotten out, and they both gotten out, and I couldn't get the door either. And so I was already not using my right arm, but I didn't know why. And I didn't even process I wasn't using my right arm. But then I remember someone opening the door. Like I don't remember me opening the door, but the door got open and my buckle got unbuckled. And so I was like, thanks, reached out and grabbed the hand that was there, and I recognized the voice. They helped pull me out from what I remember. And then I stood up, and then I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling dizzy. I should probably lay down before I pass out and cause more harm to myself if I am injured. And so again, very calm. Like, I don't know what was going on. Yeah. So I laid down in the gravel, and then the two guys, so the guy that was in shotgun, Patrick, had run around and was helping calm the driver down because he was freaking out. He'd never been in an accident before. So then they both run over, and they're like, wait, where's Joey? So they come over, and I'm down on the ground. So they're like, oh, okay. And so then they call my parents, they call people from the party and stuff like that. So I laid down, but it wasn't until like a couple days later when I realized, like, I thought the person that helped me out was Luke, because it was a dark-skinned hand that reached down to help me out. The voice I instantly recognized as a friend. But then Patrick was telling me, like, Luke was freaking out on the other side. I had to go help calm him down, and he never left. So I have no idea who helped me, like if that was completely my imagination or like what in the world happened there. It was really weird.
I don't think I knew that detail.
Yeah, it's not something I share a lot because, I mean, it's not like,
yeah.
I mean, don't like getting into spiritual or theological debates with people about something where it's like, I can't really prove it. I don't even know it actually happened. It could have been my memory. I mean, I feel like if I had leaned on a hand, I would have face planted into the door that I hadn't actually opened. But yeah, I don't know.
Man.
It's weird. They ended up calling. They didn't know if they wanted to call an ambulance because they didn't know if I had insurance and they didn't want me to pay for it. So they're all just kind of sitting around. They call my parents in the middle of the night. And they're like, hey, is this Joey's mom? My mom was like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, Joey's got in a car accident. And that was it. That's how they left it. So then my whole family freaked out and they're like, what's going on? Like, well, we're wondering if we could call an ambulance. And so then, yeah, that's how it went. On the ambulance ride, they had to cut my Cascade Surge jacket, which Cascade Surge no longer exists. And so it was still an authentic jacket. And I was so sad about that.
Oh, dude. And what repercussions are you still, besides like, I guess in your everyday life, not necessarily sports, but in your everyday life, like, can you even, does it get tired like holding a kid in that arm? Or do you gotta like?
I mean, no matter what, kids always get tiring. So I don't think that affects it too much. And I've been able to do whatever I want as long as it's below my shoulder, and I don't seem to have any effects from that.
What about compensation for this?
Yeah, I did get some at the time. I mean, to help with, and so I ended up using that to help with some of the college stuff, as well as get a cheap. I got a Jetta, the red Jetta. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Oh, the
diesel, super slow, but that thing. When I was driving up the freeway to Portland, it was the first time that I was an extra for the librarians.
Yeah.
So I was going up at like between 3 and 5 in the morning every morning for 2 weeks, and I was getting close to 50 miles per gallon in that diesel Jetta because no one else was on the road.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I love that car.
How many times did you be an extra? How many times were you an extra?
I think I was only an extra 3 times, and then I was like a stand-in for 1.
Oh, you were a stand-in. Really?
Yeah. And then they also used me as a test dummy for some of the murder victims because they're trying to figure out how to glue shards of glass onto murder victims for one of the librarian episodes. And so they're testing out the different types of glue with my eyes. And so one of them stuck a little too well. And I was like, am I going to get like, is this a possibility I could get more money because I just damaged me? So, but what was really sad is I got to meet the directors of that episode, but I don't know who they are. And I don't know what they look like because I had glass on my eyes the whole time. Sure. But they drove me from the trailers all the way back at base. They drove me it was close to like 8 to 10 minutes, all the way out to the set that they were preparing for where the graves were going to be, and they were going to dig up these bodies and whatever. And so like the director shook my hand, his assistant shook my hand. Everyone's like, hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for being our test, and all that stuff. So I got to meet all these people, have no idea who they are.
That's so crazy, dude. That's horrible for like networking.
I know. I should have been like, hey, can someone take a picture with my phone so I can see it later?
Right.
Because literally both eyes were covered. Both eyes had a huge piece of glass. I couldn't even see under them.
I remember you being very skittish when it came to your eyes.
I was. I was like, do it. This is showbiz. I got to volunteer. And they were like, okay, this is what we're going to have you do. I was already nervous. Like, I'm always nervous when I do something new. But instantly, like, my arms went weak. And I was like, I can't say no. Like, that would be worse for the showbiz. Like, than just not volunteering at all. So I'm going to go through with it. And so, like, they was trying it. And the first glues weren't strong enough. And so it came off easy. Like, okay, this isn't going to be a problem. I can handle this. It's not like my eyelashes where they're doing makeup.
Yeah.
Like, for skit theater.
Yeah.
I could not handle that. Shayla still makes fun of me. It's like, she says my eyelashes just suck into my eyes. I don't do it on purpose. Yeah. So, yeah, but that wasn't too bad once it actually got going. It wasn't until the final test didn't come off that then I was worried again.
I was really happy you were doing that. Is extras only still a thing?
Yeah, it's still a thing. I've gotten a couple requests. Most of them I can't do now because I can't take multiple days off or even sometimes weeks off of work to do something like that. But there's been a couple where it's requested and it was like on a Saturday or something like that. There was one like a Chevy commercial. There was a Nike commercial that I did, but that was, I guess, almost a year ago now. But that was only like a one-day thing, so it was easier to commit to that.
What? So I was back here in Oregon, and you were doing this?
Probably.
I had no.
I don't do it a lot anymore.
Yeah. Well, I was on their website last summer looking to get back on and get the notifications and emails and stuff, but for some reason I kept hitting roadblocks. It was not allowing me to make an account, or maybe it was too expensive at the time. I should look into it again.
Yeah, it did. You can do it for free, and then just as soon as you get your first job, then they basically take their fee from that first job. It just means for that first job, you wouldn't get priority picking.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, what I did, because at the time I was still doing just online school, and so I think I ended up paying for it. And then the first job I got was for the 2 weeks of librarians, and I got like $600 a week.
Wow.
So I was like, that paid for it.
Dang, dude. Are there connections that you've made that you have like on Facebook or some sort of social media?
Only one, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't remember me now because we haven't texted for years now, but he was a rapper up in Portland, so it's not a big thing.
That's cool.
Unless you're watching this, Omega Rapper, if you're still out there doing stuff, and I remember you.
Yeah.
I don't remember his real name. I saved it in my phone as Omega Rapper, thinking I would remember his name by that, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Omega Rapper? That's what he goes by?
Mm-hmm. Omega, I think. I just put in rapper, so I was like, what the heck is Omega?
Yeah. And so he was just doing extra stuff.
He was also an extra. Yeah, he was also an extra there.
Oh, just probably trying to find some sort of a, some sort of a Jenga piece that's gonna, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to, I don't totally know the analogy, but I'm trying to, get some Jenga pieces out of the stack that will not cause it to fall, but will cause it to continue to, I don't know.
Weird analogy, but I'll go with it. I understand what you're saying.
There's another analogy my teacher, my acting teacher would tell us to do, which is to throw, it's as if you're throwing noodles at the wall and you're seeing which ones stick. Yeah, that's a better analogy.
Yeah, because it's who you know.
Yeah. I added probably 3 or 4 people on Facebook from my time, my one day. It was one day on librarians. That was it. But it was a full day. It was like 12 hours, something like that. And I got paid like $120 for the day.
Yeah.
And they promised me a weekend and then said they didn't need me anymore. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. There's been times where it's like, hey, it could be 2 days, it could be less, or it could be more. So we need you to also keep these 2 extra possible dates open as well. And then it ends up being only a day and a half or something like that. So that's why it's hard for me to commit to that, because it's like I can't hold that many days open. Once I had a full-time job, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I've had to turn down quite a bit.
Bummer.
Yeah. Craziest coincidence ever was from that first Librarians episode. I had a friend just recommend for me to start reading the sci-fi book Dune. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. I think they're actually making a movie out of it.
Yeah. One of my favorite authors.
Yeah. And so I was reading this book, and I was reading it on my breaks, because sometimes we had like multiple hours of breaks during the 2 weeks. Yeah. And so I was reading this book, and then during the filming, eventually, because they film it backwards or mix up, they don't video or record the TV show in the order that you see it. Yep. And so, but when they did show the villain, I was like, huh. And someone said her name, and on the back of the book was a little promo of the original movie coming out, and had some of the the actors and actresses, and it was the very first movie she was ever in as a little girl.
Whoa.
The villain of that episode. And I was like, what? So that was a crazy coincidence. Yeah.
She was in Dune, the 1984 something like that.
The old one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say really old, but there's people who are still alive from that time.
Yeah. Directed by David Lynch, who is a very eccentric director. He makes bizarre films. Stuff that is just straight out of nightmares. It's crazy and really dark, and he's made one kind of tame movie, which is called The Straight Story, which is about a veteran, like an old timer. He's like nearing his 80s, and just like having to deal with life, but still being stuck back in the war. And it's a really, really beautiful movie. But other than that same director, I'm still so surprised he made Dune. But the guy who was making, I don't know if have we discussed Prisoners? Have you watched Prisoners?
I don't think so.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman.
Oh, yes, I have seen that. I've only seen it once. I was never able to watch it again because that was so heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain movies that I really, really like. Like, they're well done, and I enjoyed watching it, but I cannot watch them again, and that's one of them.
What are some others?
Now that you asked me, I can't think, but it'll pop in my head later.
Have you seen Seven?
What's that one about?
Seven is with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, and there's two detectives.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've ever seen Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt in a movie together.
Oh, okay.
I remember something like that.
I have seen it twice, I think, but that was tough to get through, knowing what you're going to be watching, as well as because it's their who directed it? David Fincher, who does the new Mindhunters.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet.
And he made Zodiac, so he's very serial killer based. His projects, and Gone Girl, that's another like killer type of film. But
Logan is one movie that's heavy for me, and I have seen it twice now. But there was a big gap between watching that twice.
I'm sure. I've only seen it the one time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was that type of film for me when I was like, I don't want to see that again.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the best superhero movies it was good for even movies that aren't superhero movies. If that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah, I would watch that just as a solo.
Yeah, the plot did not just revolve around superpowers.
Right. I love the whole feel of it, the soundtrack, especially with the trailer. Set such a tone with it being Johnny Cash. So.
Yeah, that was good. And apparently, I didn't know it because watching the movie, have you played or heard of the video game Last of Us at all?
Yes.
Okay, I totally thought, I was like, man, this could have been a good Last of Us cast.
Okay, sure.
And then I found out only like a couple months ago that apparently, if I'm remembering this right, they actually took inspiration from Last of Us for the casting of Logan. So it was actually opposite of what I was thinking they should have done. Apparently they did do it, just reversed.
That's another crazy coincidence.
Well, they saw Last of Us and like, hey, we really like that dynamic between this young girl and this old guy who's kind of, almost giving up, and just how they have to interact with each other.
Did you have comics? Were you allowed to read? Because I know I'm pretty.
I was not allowed to read.
Yeah, not at all. Not until you were.
I can only listen.
29. Well,
read comics.
Read comics. I think your knowledge of superheroes is pretty vast, right? Or am I mistaken?
Yes, but it's random.
Oh, okay.
Like I've never had a full consecutive series of comics. So my dad had some. So growing up, and he kept them in, so we would read all of those. But they were all random. Like maybe there were sometimes 2 or 3 that were back to back, and we're like, oh, a full story.
Sure.
But there weren't that many of that. I've recently, because like I went to the Comic-Con in Portland last year for the first time I've ever been.
Yes.
And so I bought a bunch of comics there. There's a some type of store down in Albany, like an antique store, but it's got like each little section someone can rent the space and sell whatever they want. And so one of the spaces is just hundreds, if not thousands, of comic books. And you can go through it and see which ones you already have, which ones you don't. There's duplicates of a lot. Some are in better condition than others, and so the cost varies.
Wow.
And some are more rare than others, so the cost varies. But
Sure.
that's been a fun place to go through, just to browse.
Yeah. That's in Albany.
Yeah.
Wow. I need to check that out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's called.
There was some
My sister Ruthie will know.
Oh, for sure. Really?
Because Ruthie's actually the one that told me. She was like, Joey, FYI, this place exists.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been there 3 times now.
And you've been pretty involved in the Marvel DC movies coming out?
Yeah. Yeah, I like them.
What's your preference? Which way do you lean?
Oh, Marvel for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I wish the best for DC, and I always want them to succeed.
Yeah.
But so far, Wonder Woman has been their best, and nothing else has really come close.
Yeah, definitely.
Though the Snyder Cut, who knows? Like,
has that come out yet?
No, but they just admitted that it is out, and I think they're putting like $30 million or something like that behind it for the director to finish it. So they're even going to have some cast come back and different people come back for voices and some editing.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it makes me really curious, like, because there's been so many movies where sometimes it'll switch directors partway through. Like, what kind of precedent is this setting to where it's like, hey, you know, we switched it, but 5 years from now, we're going to release basically what the original is going to be like. And so we'll make twice the money with half the work, and you guys get to pick which one you like better.
Yeah.
Like, which one is canon then at that point? Is it a majority vote, or how does it go?
I don't know.
Makes me curious just to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go see it, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I may have to wear a diaper because it's supposed to be like 4 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
I've sat through binge watching for way longer than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can pause at that point, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's I think my friend told me he was watching a movie one time in the theater, and there was a person who had to go to the bathroom and like was demanding that they pause.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. I don't think I'd ever have the guts to do that. I would either just hold it, or you know how some movies you can kind of read, like based off what just happened or what's going on. Like, okay, this is going to be a filler part.
Yes.
I'll speed walk.
Yeah. And push as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm excited to be working alongside you for the past year and
yeah
for the future, 15. Yeah.
All right, I don't.
For those of you who don't know, we are Joey and I and Nathan, who I did a previous podcast with, are
wait.
Up.
First, I'm the second.
Yes.
Oh man.
You're actually the third because I interviewed myself yesterday. I sent you that video.
Oh yeah, the one with your girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are these podcasts based on like the ranking of your friends?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. Just like based on availability at the time and
availability and likability, simple things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pipe Reel Studio. Sorry, continue.
Pipe Reel Studios, we are working on a season 2, which is really exciting. And now that things kind of start to open back up, I'm excited for it sounds like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like we're going to be kind of splitting this up. Or at least I suggested this, that we split it into 2 halves and kind of do like at-home versions first. And then as things open up, we slide into if CCTV allows equipment to be rented, slide into more. Oh, because, okay, so the arm wrestle sketch.
Mm-hmm.
I just had this idea pop into my head at work. I'm going to change it to now a heavy lifting challenge. So instead of arm wrestling and touching, we're all competing against one another to lift these weights and do these challenges. So, like, pull this car, like, because I've been watching the Strongest Man in the World competitions.
Okay, yeah.
Because I used to have that passion. I remember I could pull the freaking. I used to love bodybuilding and heavy lifting so much. And you've probably seen this video surface at some point.
Oh, I remember that.
That's Lou Ferrigno, Stevie, and myself.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. You guys wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah. I remember arguing with you about whether or not Lou Ferrigno is going to, like, lift me up and, like, spin me around. He's like, there's no way it's going to be happening, Collin. And I was like, yeah.
Do you remember when we first really became friends?
No.
It was, so, at least as far as, this is what I remember, so it may be different. Remember, you always seemed like a bully to me, and you were very annoying. Sorry, I'm saying that in front of everyone.
How old were we at this point?
Oh,
because it was
we would have, we would have been like 7, 6, 8, somewhere in that area, or younger. Like, it was very young.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it actually may have been where I was like, I was 8 and you were 6 or 7. So it was a long time ago, Collin. We've been friends forever. Okay, don't let this put a damper on our relationship.
No. I'm just thinking that we were younger because.
Oh, were we?
I went to Brazil at 11 years old. So.
Well, I think it was in Mrs. Lewis's class when it still had the Egyptian hieroglyphic drawings. Ooh, hold on a second. Am I back?
Yes.
My screen went black for a second. Okay. It was in the room where I think, like, Andrew Castaneda and Kaylee Mosier at the time had drawn, like, those Egyptian hieroglyphics on the wall.
Sure.
Remember that? So I don't know how old we would have been. I just remember that being the room where we had a big confrontation, and after that we were great friends. But you had, I think, it was in front of everyone, and I've always been, like, embarrassed by how skinny I was and lack of muscle and all that stuff. Wish I was skinnier now, but that's okay.
Sure.
But you called me out, or you made fun of me for being super skinny, and so I felt embarrassed that I was in front of everyone. So then I called you fat, and so then you punched me in the nose, and it hurt. And I was in front of everyone, so then I was more embarrassed. And so then I pinned you against the wall, and I just held you there, and until I was waiting for you to give up. And so then Mrs. Lewis came over, and we both got in trouble. And I don't remember what happened after that, but after that, I always considered you a friend. So, so that's just I guess that was like the big moment where it's like either we're going to be enemies forever or friends forever. So
yeah,
I remember being super embarrassed and like, how dare he make fun of like my biggest insecurity? I mean, I wasn't using that big of words back then, but
that's what you were feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that's fine. That doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a first memory with you. I just remember
always being there.
I just remember having you, Danny, Steven, and Micah like as a core group, and then anybody like Jordan or Ethan was kind of like,
They
secondary.
had a group, yeah.
Yeah, they had a group, and
And
I
the group
was
kind of like mixed, and then
definitely, yeah.
it was fun.
But
Good
yeah, we
times.
grew up and had some good times together. There might have been drama, but
Yeah, but it was never where it's like, I'm never going to be his friend again.
no, not at all.
Hilarious times.
I wanted to open up the Brazil, your relationship to Brazil, and
Oh,
so there are a lot of places I could start, and I love details like minuscule details. I seem to latch on to. So you're the oldest.
mm-hmm.
You're the oldest of 7, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's a 7? How old at the time are you going to Brazil? Were you
When we went to Brazil, I was 10 or 11,
10? Okay.
I think. Maybe I was still 9. Pretty sure I was 10 though. Because I think when we came back, I was like, I think I turned 12 a few months after we came back.
Yeah.
Or I guess maybe half a year after we came back. It's all a blur.
And it was a short time. It was a year and 3 months for you guys.
Yeah, it ended up being, like somewhere around a year and a half or just under.
When
It's supposed to be long term, but plans changed.
yeah. Because I remember thinking the Spetens are going for 4 years and then we're going for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be like a tag team.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I think I knew, I don't know. I don't remember if we rerouted because of you guys coming back or not.
I don't know. I wasn't part of the decision process. I kind of just,
Right.
my parents would say something and they'd be like, oh, what? No, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. How much kickback did you give them about leaving?
I was pretty quiet. I mean, my parents may say different things, but I mean, like, I did not say a lot of things. I always had a lot going on in my head. But like even in home videos, like Danny and Lisa and Jeremiah especially, and Elisa, but like just super loud and all over the place and like entertaining. And I think as a little kid I was entertaining too, but I was very few words. Where it's like for every 50 of theirs, there would be like 3 of mine.
Yeah.
So still had a lot going on in my head, but
of course, yeah.
It's just all of life I viewed as if it was a music video. Kind of thing. Like I'd look out a window and be like, I hate my life.
Yeah.
Or like, wow, my life is wonderful.
Yeah. And it was because of some conflict within, your guys'
Thought we left.
that caused
Yeah, so it was not me, so I don't feel like I can talk about it, but there was conflict going on inside my family and some outside my family, some people that were already there in Brazil. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on, so we ended up coming back.
Definitely. I'm asking if you would like to talk about the unfortunate events of
like my parents splitting and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it does kind of tie in all around. Brazil has some awesome memories and it has some bad and sad memories.
Absolutely.
We're still connected to some of the people.
Yeah.
And like one of them I'll even Facebook message every once in a while. I think he messages my family a lot more, or my siblings and some of my parents, or I think both my parents or one of my parents, I'm not sure. But there's some awesome memories. We still make some of the food that we learned how to make there, which always brings back memories when you taste and smell it.
For sure.
But yeah, I think it does. Things do tie in. Our whole lives are kind of one big story.
Yeah.
And then things can either get better or get worse, but most things don't stay stagnant. So
True. If you're not like on top of things, yeah.
yeah, for me, um, like I very much was very hardcore at pursuing Shayla because I was very, I'm self-deprecating inside every place in my mind. So when I was trying to pursue Shayla, I was always thinking like, she's going to realize she doesn't actually like me. I'm like the most hideous person in the world with this annoying, obnoxious attitude. And she's just going to be like, Joey, I kind of take that back. Let's take a step back. But now it's like, I get so lazy in thinking, it's like, well, we're apart. She knows how I feel. She knows what I think. And she doesn't. I still need to pursue her just as much. And
Yeah.
so things are always getting better or getting worse. You can't ever coast. A lot of times I think I can coast.
Huh.
And that's just one area of life. There's every area of life.
For sure. Oh yeah, with every relationship. I can think about me and my dad, and yeah, just the inability to really coast. It has to just grow and kind of get better. And I think and sympathize with you a lot in random times. I'll be at work, and today it was.
Oh, thanks, man.
Because today my parents are celebrating their 33rd anniversary.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. And they got to dine in somewhere to celebrate it.
Yeah. And the possibility that those two would separate is so far from my reality right now that I can't even imagine it being my immediate reality as it became yours last year.
Yeah.
And that's just on my mind, and my heart really goes out to you and your family.
Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely not something that I would wish on anyone. And I definitely, like it's been hard on me. Like I'm a very emotional dude. But I've been lucky, been blessed, kind of being spared from all the emotion that my mom has to go through, my dad has to go through, my siblings who are still at home have to go through. Like I have a reason to not be involved with some stuff. It's like, you know what? You guys need to get your act together. I have my own wife and my own kids. This is my immediate family. You guys are now secondary.
Totally.
So I kind of have that where they all have been in it day in, day out. So my heart hurts for all of them. I definitely have opinions and stances, but they all know, and hopefully they still know that I love them. If you guys are watching,
yeah. No, I've heard secondhand, even that at one point you had to call a family meeting, and I'm sure that those types of instances were very maturing for you, and very
it was
challenging.
Big growth opportunity for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and it's so. For me personally, one of the best things that has come out of this is that my two youngest siblings, most of my siblings, I want to be connected to, but my two youngest siblings, we haven't. When I moved out of the house, they're both 10 plus years younger than me. For when I moved the house, they were little. And so like in my mind, as I've been out doing my own thing in life, they've kind of always stayed and they're like, well, they're little. And now it's like, wait, how old are you guys?
Yeah.
So like, wait, you can't be driving or different things like that. But it's been cool to be able to kind of be there for them as their world has fallen apart. And to be a big brother where I wasn't before.
Right.
And so I've been able to talk a lot more and just in process, and they're old enough where I don't need to tell them what to do. One, I'm not their authority, but also like they know it's sometimes they just got to process it. So that's been super cool. Again, to let them know I'm encouraging them, I'm praying for them.
Yeah.
An opportunity for them to grow in a way that they otherwise would not get to.
True.
And they now get to be an encouragement, either by being someone that's convicting in their response, how they responded right to something that was done wrong to them, or being encouraging and like, hey, I do appreciate that to their parents, to their siblings. So I'm trying to.
What about the the ease that it would be for me to pick sides and to resent and to even probably demean or be sarcastic to either party involved. How much of that do you have to hold at bay? Or
So, not everyone may like this, or I don't know what everyone's stances are, but Shayla is a big Harry Potter fan. And so one of the requirements she had was for me to take the Hogwarts house test. Just kidding. She didn't actually require it, but she wanted me to do it. So I did it. And apparently I'm a Slytherin, which means, I've got some, and I always have known it, but I've got some pretty witty remarks that I always hold back that could be, I don't like that. I mean, I enjoy it sometimes. You're like, man, this would be such a sick burn. And they would totally see the error of their ways as they break down in tears. That was embarrassing. Right. But that's not the way to go about it. And so there's definitely a lot that I'm like, you know what, that's not actually helpful. That's for my benefit, not theirs. That's not going to, if I think what they're doing is wrong, then that's not going to help them see it. That would just continue to put up walls and defenses.
Yes.
So. True. But it's definitely a temptation of mine. I like doing that about everything. I mean, even when I see on social media or on the news or other people, I'm like, let me tell you how stupid you are.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to dwell on the subject. Oh, whoa. Wow, we're at an hour, dude.
Seriously?
Oh. Holy cow. We're a little bit over.
Yeah. Wow. I was going to say the one person who knows when I'm thinking something that's a biting remark is Shayla. Even if I don't say it, she now knows me well enough. Most times. Sometimes she's wrong, so I'm like, you're wrong. I wasn't thinking something evil. But she does know. She's like, what were you thinking? Like, go ahead and say it. I was like, no, I can't say it. I can't say it. So she knows me really well.
Sure. Does she get the butt end of that? I mean, do you do it to her in moments of?
When I am not being a good husband towards her, sometimes I will let remarks slip out. And she's very patient and forgiving with me, even though sometimes it takes a little while because it is hurtful and it's hard to hear someone that you sacrifice and care a lot for be as stupid as I am sometimes.
I'm sure she can dish it back, but not.
She can. Well, yeah. She. Let me tell you from personal experience. Not right. To go straight from saying how loving and caring she is. That's fine.
Unfortunately, all of these episodes, I know I need a part 2. So
I'm sorry for just being so enthralling.
Right.
And entertaining that you lost all sense of time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some podcasts that are like,
Hopefully Nathan didn't watch this far and heard that part. Cool. Well, thanks for having me be a part of this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to share who you are to me with my friends and my audience, and share, because our relationship goes back. I'm 25 and I feel like we've been friends since I was like, for at least
you're part of my earliest memories.
Yeah, totally.
Like you and Steven.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm
Andrew.
excited. I would hate to lose contact with you, as I've done, unfortunately, with Steven and with Andrew, and I'm happy to still be contacting Joey on the regular. So
yeah, I really like the stuff that we're making, you, Nathan, and I feel bad that I'm the one with 4 kids that seems to take the longest amount of time to find a time that works for me, but appreciate your guys' patience.
Totally.
Definitely like working with you guys. It's really fun.
Yeah, I know. I get so giddy when we get to do things on camera together.
Yeah.
We have not done nearly enough yet.
No. We can't stop now.